What's up, party people? So I asked Google Gemini today, how can I stop fascism? Thought it might ignore me. It might decline to answer because the AI bots don't like to talk about politics. And right now we have a fascist government, so I guess fascism is politics of the day. However, I was pleasantly surprised. It answered. The things that it told me to focus on were education and awareness, meaning media literacy was one thing it talked about, strengthening institutions, educational institutions, so that we can not redo the sins of our past. Which is interesting because media literacy is falling by the wayside. The oligarchs, tech bros, the broligarchs as they're called, have gotten rid of fact checking and are really obfuscating the media literacy landscape. Uh, and then universities have lost their grant funding in the last week, with lots of people out of jobs. And there's just been an all-out assault on higher education and the elitism that comes along with it, and the liberal indoctrination, which isn't a real thing. Uh, the second thing that Google Gemini told me was to counter hate speech and discrimination, which is also interesting because, as we all know, the DEI has been the absolute boogeyman by Republicans, and hate speech is now kind of encouraged. And um, yeah, it's obvious what's happening there. Addressing economic inequality and social injustice. So America's never been good at that. Economic inequality has really only gotten worse over the last 40 years. Um, but what is going on now is we actually have an oligarch that has been implanted that no one voted for, South African oligarch, Elon Musk, who is now taking over our institutions, and only because he's rich. And he also has promised to bankroll any primaries of any Republicans that don't stand in line with them. So money in politics, Citizens United has been an absolute nightmare for our country, and has been since it was put in place. And we have now reached its logical conclusion where infinite resources equals infinite influence in our politics, and democracy has died. Social injustice, uh, we've got that same South African oligarch that wasn't elected, given Heil Hitlers at the inauguration. Uh, yeah, Proud Boys are proudly standing behind Trump. Donald Trump wears his black and gold hat to signal to the Proud Boys, I got your back as long as you got mine. Watch out for that. Watch when Donald Trump doesn't wear his red hat but wears his black and gold one. That is a little nod and wink to people. Strengthening democratic institutions was the next point from Google Gemini. Well, Congress is shirking their duty of having the power over the purse. The president has exerted control, saying that his economic policies is what needs to move forward, and without any protocol or process or due diligence, Elon Musk has been unleashed on our institutions to cut funding, and yeah, it's bad news. Bad news bears out there. The next step from Google Gemini to fight fascism was building solidarity and resistance. Yeah, I'm going to do that. I'm trying to do that. I've got a book club coming up with some friends to discuss Tim Snyder's On Tyranny. Highly recommend. You guys should check it out. Short, quick read, and it's intentional that this book club's limited to people in my local community to build that community, in addition to talking about tangible steps to really be on our guard for fascism and the rise of fascism. So that's what we can do. But it's just telling that building solidarity is hard to do with the changes in the social media landscape, and Twitter being the place that things like the Arab Spring sprung from, and that being taken over by that, once again, same South African oligarch and destroyed for his free speech absolutism, which is only free speech if you agree with everything he says and are conservative and support Donald Trump. It's not free speech for everyone. here's hoping Blue Sky can take its place. It's growing fast, and you can find me on there at Video J. And then finally, the last thing was international cooperation is something that we should focus on to stop the rise of fascism, according to Google Gemini. And we just started trade wars with two of our allies. Donald Trump has threatened to invade and annex Canada, threatened Denmark, threatened South Africa. How does Elon Musk feel about that, by the way? Is he for that or against that? I don't know his opinion about his home country, but yeah, for an America First president, he sure does have interests all around the globe that don't have anything to do with lowering the price of groceries for you and me, or protecting our economy, or any of that. Yeah, I don't know. I don't feel like I'm saying anything new that anybody else isn't thinking of, but I can't get these thoughts out of my head, so I thought I would try to get them out of my head and into this video so I can post another video. Let me know what you think.